In today's video, I'm going to be unboxing and setting up the 128GB version of the iPhone 13 mini in pink. So let's start opening the box up by gently pulling on these tabs, and let's pull the cover off. And once the box is opened up, you can see the absolutely beautiful iPhone 13 mini in pink. And we're going to gently pull it out of the box and put it aside. You also have the USB-C to Lightning charge cable, the SIM card ejection tool, and as usual, an Apple sticker. This iPhone 13 mini, much like other newer iPhones, does not come with a power brick or a pair of Apple headphones, which, like many other Apple owners, I don't really care for because I have so many already lying around. So it's great that they actually skipped it. However, if you are a first-time iPhone buyer, this could potentially be an issue. So I'll leave a link to a power brick and a MagSafe wireless charger right below the video. So in case you're looking to buy one, I'll leave a link right below the video. So feel free to check that out. And the first thing we're going to do is remove this protective covering from the face of the phone. And let's power it on by pressing down on the power button on the right hand side. And it starts to boot up. And then it gets to the main welcome screen. I'm going to swipe up from the bottom. Remember, there's no home button on this phone. And then select your language. I'm going to select English in my case. And then I'm going to select the United States for my country. And then it asks me if I'd like to use the quick start method to set up my iPhone using an existing iPhone. Now this works really well if you already have an iPhone and are just migrating to a newer version. But if you're not doing that and setting it up as a new device, as I'm doing today, I recommend skipping this, and you can tap set up manually, and then let's choose a Wi-Fi network. So I'm going to scroll down and select mine, which is Vortex 5G, put in the password, and then touch join. And then it says that it may take a few minutes to activate your iPhone, and then it gives you a notification about your data and privacy. Hit continue. And the next step is to set up Face ID, which I highly recommend. Obviously that's unique to your face, and I won't be doing that in this video, so I'm going to just tap set up later so we can move on, but I highly recommend doing this. And then it asks you to create a passcode, which I'm going to do, and then it asks you to re-enter that passcode. Then it wants to know if you'd like to restore this from an iCloud backup, restore from a Mac or PC, transfer directly from an iPhone, move data from Android, or don't transfer apps and data. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm almost pretending as if I'm a first-time iPhone user. So I'm going to say don't transfer apps and data. And then it asks you to log into your Apple ID. Now, I already have one, but if you don't have one, it's fairly easy to create a new one by tapping the forgot password or don't have an Apple ID. But in my case, I'm just going to log in. And once you log into your Apple ID, it asks you to agree to the terms and conditions. I'm going to hit agree, and it lets you know that it may take a few minutes to set up your Apple ID. And then it wants to know if you'd like to enable auto updates. I'm just going to tap continue. And next it wants to know if you'd like to enable location services. Now this is required if you plan to use things like Find My iPhone. So I highly recommend doing that. So I'm just going to tap enable location services. And on the next step, it asks you to set up your cellular connection. Now if you don't have a physical SIM card, it allows you to transfer your eSIM card from another nearby phone. I have a physical SIM card, so I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And the physical SIM card slot is on the bottom left-hand corner of the phone. And I'm going to use the ejector tool that came with it, push it into the slot till the SIM card slot pops out, as you can see. And I'm going to pull that slot out, and I'm going to insert the SIM card into the slot with the contacts facing upwards like that, and then we're going to put it back into the phone, push it in till it is flush with the surface of the phone. Now for the next step, it asks you whether you'd like to set up Apple Pay. Now I highly recommend doing this, but in my case I'm not going to do that, but it's definitely worthwhile to set this up. I'm just going to tap set up later in wallet so I can move on. And then it wants to know if I'd like to use iCloud keychain. In my case, again, I'm not going to be using this, but it's entirely up to you. I'm going to tap don't use iCloud keychain, and then it wants to know if I'd like to use Siri. I'm definitely not going to be using Siri, so I'm just going to tap set up later in settings. And then it wants to know if I'd like to set up screen time. Again, I'm going to skip this and touch Setup Later in Settings. On the next screen, it asks me whether I'd like to share analytics with Apple. Again, you're welcome to do this. In my case, I'm going to hit Don't Share. And then it wants to know if you'd like the dark appearance or the light appearance. I'm just going to go with the light appearance. And again, obviously, you can change this whenever you like. Hit Continue. And then it wants to know whether I'd like the standard or zoomed display. I'm just going to go with the zoomed display because I actually prefer that. And then hit Continue. And then it says Welcome to the iPhone. Swipe up to get started. And there you go. That's all you need to do to set up your brand new iPhone 13 mini. So I really hope you found this video useful. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up, and please also consider subscribing to my channel to stay tuned for more reviews, unboxings, and how-to videos. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.